Welcome to my day 19 vid. All the initial base coats of the zombies are done, minus the skin, which I'll do on the last day, tomorrow. This is my last group of 10. I think it's 10. Yeah, 10 guys. These are the second half of the civilian population of this block. The rest are back there. I got a huge task ahead of me yet with all the skin and gore, but I think after the skin's done, it'll just be fun stuff after that. There we go. Last 10. Just as poorly done as all the other ones, but when they're completed, I think, like I've been saying, they'll hopefully come together. And I've actually been noticing that going through it, I've been getting better just naturally, which is kind of weird to say, but here, for example, this is like a guy I did earlier. Take note of his short pant leg. Kind of got too much paint on the brush, and so it filled in the gaps. And I've been trying to practice doing the dry brushing and getting the appropriate amounts with the appropriate consistency. And then later on, this is one of my last guys I did. His leg is actually pretty well done. So I think I'm starting to slowly get it, which is cool. Just small little changes, small steps, but I think it's starting to click a little bit. Should after 150 models. So yeah, there they are. I did khaki today. Khaki in my go-to bootstrap leather from P3 for the shoes, khaki for the non-white, and then off-white, Vallejo off-white for the shirts, which is really messy. The white on black is I think one of the toughest things I've done so far in this challenge, is painting this white on black, especially with all the crazy details like the shredded shirt, which is actually kind of cool. Come on, focus. Oh, see that? There we go. Yeah, it's just really hard for me. Still trying to figure that one out, but once it's washed with Nuln Oil or the Carroburg Crimson, I think, I got that shade that I might be trying out. But once it sees a wash and the highlights I'm gonna be doing with the spray cans, I think it'll muddy up and dirty up enough to where it'll look fine. It looks really stark now, obviously, because it's white on black, so it would. But yeah, khaki, off-white, green gray, again, Vallejo color. I think it's model color. Green gray for the, oops, my hand's on it. Green gray for, that's a bad example, for the weapon handles. My traditional method with the weapons, which is kind of a grayish rotted wood look. I'm trying to stay away from the browns in the wood. I really like the gray, and then the lovely rust color. God, I love that. It's good. It's good. So there they are, last 10. We'll be doing skin and shades and highlights tomorrow and gore. It'll be a long day, but hopefully we'll get it to where they look really nice for a rank and file zombie unit. Okay, day 19. And the question, I believe, was if money was no object, what army would I go out and buy? This is a really exciting question for me because of my gaming background. And I'm actually really excited to hear what the community has to say about it. I love questions where it's like, you have all the money in the world, what would you do with it? I love those kinds of questions because you really get to see where a person's mind is at when you take the object of money out of the picture. For me personally, I've always had a soft spot for, as some of you might know, high elves. I've always had a soft spot for high elves because they were the very first army I was into. It's what attracted me to the hobby in the first place, and then I ended up going with 40k over fantasy, but they were the ones that got me familiar with Games Workshop and the brand in general and the game type in general. So if money was no object, I would have to probably go high elves, and I would just buy ranks and ranks of everything. They're gorgeous. I noticed a lot of the new models are really cool. So there's that, or in 40k, one of my favorite armies that it's just so daunting to get into, just because of all the options and all of the amount of things that you need, but they're one of my favorite armies, is the Imperial Guard. I would go nuts with the Imperial Guard. Forge World Super Heavies, Bane Blades, Bane Blades and Shadow Banes, I think. Titans. Just rank upon rank of guys. I love that massed infantry look. Entrenched infantry just as far as the eye can see, with whole regiments of Lehman Russ battle tanks behind to support. That's awesome. Vendettas are one of the best flyers in the game at the moment as well. They can come in groups of 3, so you can field a lot of options with IG. And you gotta love that World War look. Just gritty metal and man flesh. I would go nuts with an Imperial Guard army if I had all the money in the world. And I would probably go a step further and get it commissioned at a high level. That would bring it up a notch. So there we go. Either massive Warhammer Fantasy High Elf army with dragons and the new Phoenix with regiments of Phoenix Guard and the White Lion chariots. I love those. And archers and sword masters. Or a massive IG army with Forge World units. So those are probably, I don't know which I would take over the other, but one of those would be my answer. Well, if money was no object, I'd probably do both. So there we go, day 19. up next is flesh and highlights and shades.